Hello, my name is Jari Kempers. I'm a health economist and freelancer. Today I'm going to present you a cost analysis of Sexuality and Life Skills program in public secondary schools in Tirana, Albania. This topic is also close to my heart because economic aspects of sexuality education were one of the focus areas of my PhD. This work was commissioned and financed by UNFPA, and I did this project together with Dr. Albania Ahmeti. This policy brief is available in English, and you can find the download links under this presentation. Objectives of this costing study were firstly to assess the cost of the current program in public secondary schools in Tirana. So what does it actually cost? And secondly, to forecast the cost or the investment needed from the government for a fully scaled up national program in all secondary schools in Albania. This policy brief is used to support advocacy and national fundraising efforts in Albania, and it also serves as an example to other countries planning and implementing similar programs. It is a comprehensive sexuality education program. It is an intracurricular program, meaning that the sexuality education topics are embedded in other topics like biology, civic or physical education. It is a mandatory subject in elementary and secondary schools and an elective in gymnasiums. This study focuses only on the secondary schools. In this table, you can see the target age groups, the duration of the program in years and in teaching hours per school level. In the secondary schools, the sexuality education program is taught over 4 years, which total 240 teaching hours. Here are the teaching hours per general topic and also per grade, and it also shows in which carrying subjects these are embedded. For those who would like to know more about the program, below is also linked to a WHO report on sexuality education in youth. The coverage in Tirana was estimated by using the number of trained teachers in public secondary schools as a proxy. The maximum coverage was estimated to be 45% of all students in public secondary schools in Tirana. This means that roughly 9,400 grades 6 to 9 students would have been reached in 2017. The degree of implementation, that is which lessons of the sexuality education curriculum are actually taught, was not known at the time of conducting this study. Therefore, we assumed that the entire program is taught by all the trained teachers because we want to estimate the cost of fully implemented program. Obviously, this is probably far from the current actual implementation, but we want to look at the cost of the program when it's properly implemented. There's no point of lobbying funding for partial implementation. Next, we have a breakdown of the costs in Tirana. The total annual cost under optimal implementation were estimated to be $63,000. That is 7.2 million leks in 2017. Teacher salaries were by far the largest cost component, 83%, as one would expect, as teaching is labor-intensive work. 8% was used on coordination, 5% on teacher trainings, and teaching materials were only 4%, which is low in comparison to other programs, and it reflects to the unavailability of teaching and student material. Next, cost analysis. Under the optimal implementation, the program would cost annually $1,925 per secondary school and $203 per class. The cost of reaching one student would be $6.8 per year. Consequently, completing the 4 years would cost $27.1 per student. The average cost of training one teacher was $89. If the Sexuality and Life Skill program is scaled up and fully implemented in all 1,249 public secondary schools of Albania, the total annual costs were estimated to be $1.2 million. The design and setting of the Sexuality and Life Skills program are suitable for national scale-up. It is an intracurricular program. Sexuality education is embedded in other topics. This makes the sexuality education compulsory and therefore it has the most potential to be scaled up. The local implementation and coordination by the Ministry of Education is essential for the sustainability. Understandably, there is urgency and drive to scale up the program, yet it is important to ensure the quality of the program before scaling it up. The needed teaching and student materials and lesson plans should be in place, and the effectiveness of the program should be evaluated at least on the basic level. Moreover, the current level of implementation should be assessed. From an economic point of view, it is better to scale up the program first in the schools that are currently implementing the program before moving to new schools or new districts. Also, 54% of the secondary schools that are implementing the program now did not have enough CSA-trained teachers to cover the entire school population. Here's a comparison of the cost per student reached in other CSA programs in other countries. Obviously, these are apples and pears. The countries and the programs are very different. Yet still the Albanian program falls within the range of the cost that we calculated in the other 6 countries in a larger UNESCO study earlier. You can read more about this in this article. This cost analysis has a number of limitations. First of all, the coverage was estimated and the degree of implementation was not known at the time of implementing the study. These analyses are based on the assumption on optimal implementation, which understandably overestimates the coverage and inflates the total costs. Therefore, the results should be interpreted as cost estimations, not as the actual cost of the program. Lastly, and this is important, the scale-up is presented as a total investment needed from the government. This does not take into account that the salaries of the teachers are already being paid. Therefore, the actual budget impact for the government is likely to be only 20-25% of the total investment. Then 4 recommendations arising from this study. Firstly, ensure the quality before scaling up. The needed teaching and student materials and lesson plans should be in place, and the effectiveness of the program should be evaluated before scaling it up. Second, increase first the coverage in the schools that are already implementing the program before moving to new schools or districts. And third, evaluate the current implementation in the secondary schools, which sexuality education lessons are actually taught, which are not, and why. Fourth, improve the reporting and documentation. Accessible and up-to-date information is essential for the professional management of the program. We would like to thank all the persons who supported this project. The names are here. Here are my contact details in case you have comments or questions. If you found this presentation interesting and useful, which I assume so, as you did watch this video this far, please share the video and also remember to subscribe to this channel here below. Thank you for watching and hope to see you soon.